guys, how you doing? jpsarrireviews here. If there's one thing that made me fall in love with Sideshow Collectibles years ago was the dioramas. They were very popular back then. I was a big fan. Unfortunately, they went on the wayside when the premium format took over the 1/4 scale and became the standard of the industry. So that was something that I kind of missed for many years. Thankfully, they had made a comeback in recent years. Now with the 1/5 scale, Sideshow's been doing some great pieces. And now they just recently released for pre-order a Venom versus Spider-Man diorama that, you know, a lot of people are talking about. So in this video, I want to break down the information that we have so far, the good and the bad, what I like, what I don't like, and ultimately let you know if I think this is a worthy pre-order or not. So in the next couple of minutes, stay tuned. Alright guys, I'm here at Sideshow's website and I'm going to have the link in the description for those who are interested to, you know, come and take a look. And here says it's Spider-Man versus Venom Maquette. Of course it's a diorama, but now it's called a maquette. By Sideshow Collectibles, of course. Exclusive. It's a prototype shown here. Limited edition, so we don't have an edition size yet. $700. Even though you can make a, you know, be part of the payment plan, I'm not feeling this price point. I think it's too much for what this is. Now, if you look at this main picture, you can see the mock-up of this lady and the piece right next to her. That is a small piece, and $700 is the price of a PF. I don't know. It feels to me. Yes, people will say, well, there's two pieces here, but I think look at Spider-Man. It looks so small in comparison, and Venom is definitely a 1/5. Or Venom is a 1/5. He's more like a 1/6. So I have a concern. I think this is too much. They're asking for too much, and I'm not so sure people are going to really jump on this right away. The estimated arrival time is between January and March of next year. Of course, that's always subject to change. Now let's read this. Sideshow exclusive swap out classic Venom portrait. Of course, this is the portrait right here, the classic one. We're going to look at the pictures in just a moment. Let's read this. About this maquette. Is that you, Venom, threatening me again? Sideshow presents the Spider-Man vs. Venom maquette, two classic rivals facing off in your universe of Marvel Collectibles. It's a superpower showdown in New York City. The Spider-Man vs. Venom maquette measures 22 inches tall as the wall crawler, and his fated foe battling it out on the wreckage of a toppled church bell tower. Tendrils of the sinister alien symbiote sneak around the base, snaring Peter Parker's arm as he takes aim at Eddie Brock's alter self. The polyresin Spider-Man vs. Venom maquette is a fully sculpted, highly dynamic collectible that brings two iconic Marvel characters together in your collection. Venom's monstrous muscular physique ripples with Dark Clintar's symbiote as he prepares to strike with claws, fangs, and his terrifying tongue. His signature look is complete with sculpted white spider symbols, swirl eyes, and the white web shooter markings on his hands. As quick to twip as he is to quip, Spider-Man displays his extreme acrobatic ability in this battle, leaping out of harm's way to get a better angle against his rampaging foe. His vibrant red and blue costume features sculpted black web textures running throughout the arms, legs, and torso, complete with a raised black spider symbol on his chest and large wide eye lenses on his mask. The exclusive edition of the Spider-Man vs. Venom maquette includes a swap-out classic Venom portrait, which features larger eyes and a toothy, tongueless jaw. Take Spidey's enemy back to his early days with this exclusive additional display option. Bring the battle to your Marvel collection and order the Spider-Man vs. Venom maquette today. Now here are the artists. We have on the sculpt we have Steven Schumacher and Aaron McNaught, and the design besides Schumacher you have David Igo, Andrew Huerta, Ian McDonald, Nelson Asensio, and Richard Long. The Molten cast we have Anna Smith, Chadwick Anderson, Jeremy William, and the painter is Casey Love. She's been doing terrific stuff for them, for Sideshow. A lot of the pieces that are coming out in more recent times, a lot of those are being painted by Casey Love. Now, I would say this. The first thing that I'm looking at this, besides the price that I'm going to think it's a problem, also I think that there's too many hands on deck, too many designers, too sculptors, which is normal because sometimes someone does one piece and the other person does the other piece, particularly with dioramas. But there's so many people designing here. And that is always a cause of concern, because that in the end, there's so many visions trying to make one single vision, and that's something that it really harms pieces. Now, looking at the pictures, as you can see right here, this is exclusive with the classic portrait. I love this classic portrait. I'm a big fan of classic portraits. Years ago, I reviewed a Kotobukiya Venom that was, in this case, sculpted by Eric Sosa. Love that piece, 2 pieces. The quality was not that great, I would say, with the paint job, but the piece was phenomenal. I love this one. I really love this one. I'll have only one concern, and it's the bottleneck there. And I'm going to point out in a moment. Not crazy about Spider-Man. I'm not crazy. The sculpt is good. I love the sculpt. I don't like the pose. The pose, it really harms Spidey big time. And we're going to point that out in just a moment as well. Here you can see the portraits, the classic. Love that. Love the big eyes. And of course, the more modern. This looks a lot like the film, the most recent film, where you can see right there. Again, the musculature here is fine. He's big. He's a huge guy. The bottleneck here kind of harms. I would love for this to be a bit bigger, perhaps to the head here, or this here to have something there. That would make this piece to stand out even more. But I love the tongue. The paint job is terrific there. Casey Love did a fantastic job with the whole portrait, with the whole piece. Now, here you can see, this kind of gives you a better idea of what I'm saying. I know a lot of people are going to say, well, Venom has been, drawn this way or that way. You're always going to find those there. I'm a comic book geek. For people that follow my channel, that have followed for years, you know that I love comics, and I talk about comics all the time. So I know Venom. I have known Venom since the beginning. I read so many comics, not only from McFarlane era. I love Eric Larson's depiction of the character. He's the one that gave the character the tongue. Bagley was terrific with it, and I've seen over the years so many artists, drawn the character in different ways. But I still think that the head is too small in comparison to the rest of the body. Look at those arms. Look at those claws. He's huge. But that's just a nitpick, though. I would say that beyond that, Venom looks fine. I'm not crazy about Spider-Man. As you can see, his body's all over the place. It's like he's just in free fall, but he just, this is not really a Spider-Man versus Venom diorama. This is Venom beating Spider-Man into the pulp right there. He's just broken. Look at that, everything. I don't know. It doesn't look right. It doesn't look appealing to me. Now, this is another angle here. Again, with dioramas and with maquettes, you want to display this not only one way. You want to be able to move them around and display them with so many options. That's what maquettes, that's what dioramas do. Allow you to enjoy every little detail. Here, the body looks terrific. I like the sculpt. Unfortunately, you cannot appreciate the head sculpt, which in my opinion is good, of Spider-Man. But Venom, look at that back. He's muscular, and he should be, so that's fine. Venom is at the start of the show. Again, this is another picture here. Venom is the start of the show. Here I can see the head. Like I was saying, the head sculpt of Spider-Man is good. It's a good job there. Now we can appreciate his sculpt better. His head is nice. But again, this is definitely Venom on top of Spider-Man. If you remember back in the day, years ago, there was when the dioramas were the thing. One of the last dioramas was produced by Sideshow on the classic diorama line was Spider-Man versus Venom. If I'm not mistaken, I think what was the last one. I could be wrong. It's been years now. But the start of that one was Spider-Man. Spider-Man was on top of Venom. It was not even a fully sculpted Venom. He was coming out through a chimney, if I remember. I had that piece, and I sold it. The regular was the one that was sold out the most, because the regular portrayed Venom with the, in this case, with the Venom, with the symbiote head, the portrait. They didn't have any switch-out parts. But in this case, the exclusive was the one with Eddie Brock, and people didn't like that one. It was not that appealing. In that piece, Spider-Man was the star of the show. He was on top. He looks terrific. On this one, even though, they're fully sculpted, both of them, I do feel that Venom is the star. He's the one that shines the most, and, because he's on top, and Spider-Man is at the bottom. Look at this. And another concern I have of this piece is that it's just held by one single peg, I think, unless, you know, the whole wood here, this thing comes off and the whole piece goes in, even though the problem will be leaning in the future. I know this is polyresin, so it's heavier than plastic, of course. And so the problem that gravity does its job, and this can lean at some point. And besides that, another problem with this piece would be any type of accidents can break. Unless there is a metal rod that goes all the way here, all the way to the shoulder of Spider-Man, I'm sure that this is just polyresin. And if this breaks here, which is I think this is the sensitive spot, very tiny arm, this is going to break. And this is something that we have to be concerned about, particularly at this price point. You don't want pieces that are, in this case, the engineering is poorly devised, poorly done. Look at this. He's huge. Again, Venom. I like Venom. I like the sculpt of Spidey. I just don't like the pose. He looks all over the place. He's just pretty much kind of like, you know, falling, free falling, broken. You know, everything seems like, I don't know. I'm not trying to harm anybody's reputation here. This artist that they're working on this, are great artists. They have done fantastic work with Sideshow. My respect to that. I'm not an artist, so I cannot really judge what they do. But I think that in this case, so many ideas, so many people working on this, it really has harmed the overall vision for this piece, unfortunately. Love the tongue. Again, the paint job is terrific there. The whole paint job is terrific. You know, of course, you know, there's so much, even though people will say, well, this is a simple color combination. Yes, it is. But I can see not only the black, but I can see the blue, which is a terrific job. Really nice there. Really love the back. The claws are fine. Yeah, I would say the head is a nitpick. You can leave it like that. It's not a problem. I still feel that it's small. Now, you can see right here. This head is nice. It's a nice head sculpt for Spidey. Nice body, nice sculpt. Of course, the only thing that harms this piece, in this case Spidey, is the pose. Now, here you can appreciate it more. He looks fine here. Unfortunately, in order to appreciate Spidey like this, you have to look from above. So that means that you have to display it at, I would say, not even an eye level. It's going to be more like a ground level. And who wants to put $700 on the floor? You know, this is my thing. You know, like, you want things to be displayed in a way where you can appreciate everything. You want to appreciate Spidey too, but you cannot, you know, unless you put it at, you know, at the bottom of your display. And to be honest with you, pieces don't really look great at the bottom. Never do. And some pieces do. You know, some pieces are actually, you're forced to, if you want to enjoy the whole diorama. And in my opinion, this is not good. Another thing that I'm pointing out, like, again, I was saying, the body sculpt is fine. It's just the pose, the way he's doing. And of course, I'm saying the pose here because these are digital sculpts, you know, and people, primarily, you know, most of these pieces are now digitally sculpted. So, you know, they first they sculpt the body, and then of course they create the pose digitally. But it seems like he's all broken in pieces. First, like, look at this, like his right here, his knee with his leg. I don't know, it seems weird. It seems so natural there. And now look at even his toes, you know, his feet. It's like he's bending his toes. Who does that? You know, like, yeah, he's Spider-Man, you know, you can do that. But that doesn't look appealing. I don't even remember an artist doing that. And if an artist is doing that, you know, it could be, I don't know, Liefeld or something. It just looks not good. It doesn't look good. I don't think even McFarlane did that. The base, it's simple. The symbiote is there. It's well done. The paint job is good. You see the wood. You see, you know, in this case, the cement or the stone. And, of course, the bell right there. Cool. It's a simple job. It's a simple base. Well done, though. Again, he looks terrific there. He looks, I like Venom. I'm not going to deny it. I think Venom is the start. Spider looks great, it's called, but it's going to be, at this angle, it's going to be the best display. And that means that it has to be, below eye level for your display. I would say there are a lot of things that I appreciate about this piece. There are things I appreciate Venom. I do appreciate the sculpt. I just don't like, in the end, the overall design, the way everything was put together. I think Spider can break easily from there first. They can be leaning at some point, yes. The pose, in my opinion, and I gotta be honest with you, it's terrible. That pose is not good. I feel that if they fix that, you may have a winner. If they fix some of the things that I'm mentioning, if you fix that, particularly at this price point, which is too steep, and if you fix some of the head and make it a bit bigger, perhaps, I think you can do it. And I know Sideshow has done that in the past, because, you know, it's the only way that I can say, well, this piece is worth a $700 price tag. But besides that, I am disappointed. Well, guys, there you have it. I tell you this, and I'm honest about it. As much as I support and I love dioramas, it is hard for me to stand behind this piece. I just feel that it is not the complete picture of what I want, in this case, the battle between Venom and Spider-Man to be. It's not. It just doesn't feel right. And, you know, I say this with respect, because at the end of the day, a lot of people are involved in the process of creating these pieces, and I don't like to really put down the work of others, primarily when I'm not even an artist. So I feel that it's you know, self-serving just to speak, you know, from your mind, you know, and not really being respectful of others, you know, and I just don't want to do that here. But to be honest, there were so many hands on deck. There's so many designers involved in this process, and I think in the end, the vision is not clear what they wanted to do. The piece is there, but it has a lot of shortcomings, you know, from the, you know, in this case, the design standpoint, the sculpt standpoint, from even the clarity of what you want to do, how you're going to display it. It's going to be a little bit of a hassle trying to display this piece. So in my opinion, it's a pass. You know, I know some people might like it. Some people are going to pre-order. Also, the price, I think, is ridiculous now. But if you have to keep in mind that this is the price point that is happening all across the business, all across the industry. You know, everything is going up in price, unfortunately. But I think it's too high for what it is, even though it's a 1/5 scale and it's large in size. You know, there's two pieces in this diorama, two different characters. Still, I feel that it's too much for what it is. But what is your opinion? What do you think? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you agree with my opinion or not? Let me know in the comments below. So once again, my friends, thanks for watching. God bless you. Take care, and I'll talk to you again. Bye-bye.